All right, so you guys are always looking for these token analysis. One, of course, that's super hot right now is Axie Infinity. It's a gaming token, and one that we're going to break down today a little bit about it. I'll be honest with you, I don't own this one. It is one I'm watching, though. It's interesting to me, and I want to kind of get a little bit deeper into it with you today. My name is Paul Barron. Welcome back to Tech Path. Let's dive into Trade the Chain real quick, because ironically, timing-wise, when we do these videos, some of these things actually hit, and of course, Axie, which is the AXS coin. Let's jump to that one and take a look at the sentiment. Pretty hot sentiment, even though it is seeing a little bit of a dip right here in the one-day trading. Right here is the sentiment for the 7-day trading, which is holding on nicely right here with very solid positive sentiment moving on this. Now, don't get too overtaken by sentiment in this particular. We actually have a alternative viewpoint of where this might go and some reasons why. So let's take a look at about what it is, Axie Infinity. This is coming over from CoinMarketCap. It is a blockchain-based trading and battling game that's particularly owned and operated by its players. It's basically inspired by popular games like Pokemon and Tamagotchi. Axie Infinity allows players to collect, breed, raise, battle, and trade tokens based on creatures known as Axies. So basically, it's a first kind of the NFT component for gaming and how you can actually put your NFTs to work. Various forms, there are more than 500 different body parts available, including aquatic, I like this one, beast, bird, bug, plant, reptile parts. Parts from each type or class come from 4 different rarity scales: common, rare, ultra rare, and legendary. It's a great, I mean, it sounds great to me in terms of if you like online gaming and the potential for this. Where this is really popular is in Asia, in Southeast Asia specifically. And I think when you look at some of where the owners are and also a little bit of their strategy, jumping back to Sky Mavis, who is the company behind Axies. Let's kind of jump into this. So Sky Mavis was a technology-focused game developer with a team primarily based in Vietnam. It was co-founded by Trung Nguyen and Alexander Larson. And essentially they said, hey, listen, we want to do something, because they loved, gaming, and they just wanted to implement what would be at one time or now a potential blockchain solution for gaming. And they started this back in 2017. That's the good thing, I think, about this. But again, it's still a fairly small company in terms of Axie Infinity. Team consists of 25 full-time employees, many of whom have experience with the game development. So I think that's good. The big news here is more so around the team behind this and also some of the players that are behind this. And I don't mean the actual game players, but the actual investment players. And I want to jump to this piece here by Tech in Asia. This is where Mark Cuban comes back in. And we've talked about Mark Cuban here on the show a lot, especially around DeFi projects, NFTs in general. But he basically joined, I should say, back in May, the gaming company startup Sky Mavis, 7.5 million, Series A, early round for this. So Mark finds these things when they're very young. And I think with the fact that he has jumped into this, I think there's a big opportunity here for them to really understand kind of how to utilize his skill set from a major A-series investor and also a potential partner to help them kind of guide the company. So I think that's a big, huge opportunity. But if you look at this also, who were his compatriots in this? Individual investors that joined Cuban were Alexis Ohanian, that's the Reddit co-founder, okay? You also got John Robinson, who's the president and CEO of 100 Thieves. I mean, these are guys that know tech. They know the future of interactivity. They understand how communities work. And I think all of that is very important in how this comes together. Cuban basically said, I think Axie is an amazing platform. It's a fun and engaging game. It's a game you want to play for hours. And basically, that's it. It's something that could be in a viral state and really kind of get going. Here's the thing that I always caution about any of these NFTs is if there isn't, games can go viral. Don't get me wrong. Games are definitely those kind of things that can move and will, in many cases, move. And when you look at where their percentage of this coin, let's just take a look quickly over here on where this thing is moving. Jumping up. Following yesterday's price surge, decentralized finance, DeFi cryptos, blockchain-related tokens, now hitting a 20% push. Guess who's there? AXS, the native token of Pokemon-like blockchain game, Axie Infinity. This thing is, at the time of this writing, it was trading at 1348, up 27% on the day over on CoinGecko. So I think this is the thing that we continue to see with projects like this, is these flash moves from time to time. And we did an analysis on this one to take a little bit deeper understanding of where the project was, both from a sentiment analysis, a performance analysis, and then also an amplification. So I want to jump to TradingView and give you some kind of interesting tidbits here. One is their sentiment is just insane. This is a really high score, 81.44 for a sentiment, which, if you follow our channel, you know that we score sentiment in downturns on a project so that we can get pure sentiment and we don't get caught up in some of that, kind of the amplification that is what I call false amplification in a rise, because you're measuring such a short period of time. And in this particular case, we measured this back in July 7th down through July 9th. Nice sentiment pad though right here. You can also kind of follow where the sentiment range was going and how it's playing out. However, here's what we've seen right here in this small little bubble where it starts, because remember, this is the move up where it had that 27% gain. And then we've started to see it go sideways a little bit right here to where it's currently trading today at right around 1780 currently. So this little bit of sentiment bubble right here is the only position that really gave us an opening to take a measurement. And that measurement came in quite a bit softer at 72.09 with a 59.33 on amplification, which is a downward trend on amplification, which is what you see right there. Downward trend on this in terms of amplification and where price potential could be, it looks to me as though we've got a price floor somewhere around $11.20, $11. So that's kind of what I'm looking at this. I see this as a flat project right now until there could be some more news. Of course, if there's more news, both on investment or maybe strategic partnerships, big players coming into the space, or big names getting behind and around this beyond Mark Cuban, then this, of course, changes everything with them. And also adoption rate of the project and the game itself is going to be a big factor. So it's going to need some ramp up because of where it is. And it's not that it's in a bad spot, but if this was in the US and we started to see some of like kind of that EA or esports component playing into this, and not necessarily for esports, but because the gaming community is so big here, although it is huge in certain parts of Asia, then there could be some definitely movement right now. But right now, the trend is showing downward on where Axie is going. So if you are out there and you're investing in Axis, maybe right now, while it is on a sideways action, is the time to take some gains off the table and move on and hopefully come back at a better time and jump right back into these DeFi projects like that. This swing trading is a very good approach. Remember, when we do these market movers from time to time, we'll pull together data like this, research, news, information. We kind of compile this all in one package, and then we come back to you guys with hopefully is either one, a price prediction or some sort of data set that can give us kind of a viewpoint on where this is going. Remember, it's not financial advice, so if you are invested in this or you are looking at this in a long-term play, maybe this is something you do want to stay in long-term, because this has definitely got that long-term feel, especially with Cuban behind this, and because it's such a small startup, lot of open territory for this project to move. So if you're listening to us over on the podcast, make sure and give us some stars over there. That's the number one way we get feedback on our podcast channels. And of course, you're on Spotify, just hit that follow. That's the way we get feedback over there. Here on YouTube, you got to give us a subscription, man. Put us on your subscribe list. Also like the video if you like what we're doing, or maybe if you have something that you'd like us to cover in terms of a token analysis or a project analysis, breaking down some of it. If we can pull enough data, if there's enough critical mass of data out there that we can get to both on block data as well as sentiment data, amplification data, sentiment around voice IQ, and speech IQ, those kind of things are very critical on how we pull together all of our pieces of the puzzle. If you have something though, put it in the comments below. And of course, you can always hit me up on Twitter @PaulBaron. I'll catch you next time right here on TechPath.